Hi everyone, it's me Javeria Jabeen and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to discuss brachial plexus. So basically brachial plexus is a network of nerves which arise from the spinal nerves of our neck C5, C6, C7, C8 and T1 and then provide the nerve impulses to our shoulder region, arm, forearm and hand. So discuss these brachial plexus in the detail by the notes. Brachial plexus is a network of nerves which arise from the ventral rami of the spinal nerves. So these arise from the roots of the spinal nerves and then divide into trunk, division, cord, and branches. So there is a mnemonic to learn these divisions. One, ready to drink cold bottle. R for daddy and R for root, T for two and T for trunk, and then D for division, C for cold, and B for branches. The five roots C5, C6, C7, and C8. Four cervical roots and then one thoracic root. These divide into upper, middle, and lower trunk, and then these further arrange to form three anterior and three posterior divisions, and then they further arrange themselves to form lateral, medial, and posterior cords, and then further arrangement forms 17 branches. So, like brachial plexus is a network of nerves. So these nerves arise from the four cervical spinal nerves and one thoracic nerve. So this is cervical 5, cervical 6, cervical 7, cervical 8 and thoracic 1. These are spinal nerves. So when these 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 nerves arise, these are the roots of brachial plexus. C5 and C6 roots combine to form upper trunk. C7 forms the medial trunk and C8 and C9 root. These roots combine to form lower trunk. Each trunk, upper, medial and lower trunk divides into anterior division and posterior division. Three cords are formed. The anterior division, okay, the anterior division of upper trunk and medial trunk. Anterior divisions of upper and medial trunk join to form lateral cord. These three posterior divisions, the posterior divisions of upper, medial and lower trunk join to form posterior cord. And this anterior division of lower trunk then forms the medial cord. Lateral cord then divides into branches. Lateral cord divides into three branches. One is lateral root of median nerve, second is musculaneous nerve, and third is lateral pectoral nerve. The mnemonic for these three branches is L for lateral root of median nerve, my life M is musculaneous nerve, and life L is lateral pectoral nerve. And then the medial cord divides into five branches. Five branches are medial root of median nerve, ulnar nerve, medial pectoral nerve, median cutaneous nerve of arm and forearm. So the mnemonic is MUM. M for medial root of median nerve, U for ulnar nerve, and then M for medial pectoral nerve, and then M for medial cutaneous nerve of arm, and then M for median cutaneous nerve of forearm. The posterior cord divides into 5 branches. Upper subscapular nerve and lower subscapular nerve, thoracodorsal nerve, axillary nerve and radial nerve. So the mnemonic is star. S for subscapular nerve, upper subscapular and lower subscapular, these are 2 nerves, and then T for thoracodorsal nerve, and then A for axillary nerve, and then R for radial nerve. This is the complete network of brachial plexus. So these are the branches which arise from the cord. These are some extra branches of the brachial plexus. One is dorsoscapular nerve, subclavius, suprascapular and long thoracic nerve. So let's understand from where these nerves arise. The dorsoscapular and the long thoracic nerves. These nerves arise from the roots. The long thoracic nerve. This long thoracic nerve arises from C5 to C7 root, like this, C6 and C7. This is long thoracic nerve, and then dorsoscapular nerve. The dorsoscapular nerve arises from C5. This is dorsoscapular nerve. Two branches, subclavius nerve and suprascapular nerve. These branches arise from the upper trunk. Yeah, this is suprascapular nerve. This is subclavius nerve. All the network of brachial plexus. There are total 17 branches of brachial plexus. There are 16 in number because I have written the upper subscapular nerve and the lower subscapular nerve under the same number, 13. So total are the 17. So these are 17 branches of brachial plexus. Now understand that which muscles are supplied by these branches. Number 1 is dorsoscapular nerve. This is the dorsoscapular nerve which arises from the C5 root. These nerves supply rhomboid muscles. The rhomboid muscles are present between both scapula. And then subclavius nerve. The subclavius nerve supplies subclavius muscle. This is the small muscle which is attached under the clavicle bone. Then suprascapular nerve. Suprascapular nerve supplies supraspinatus and infraspinatus muscles. On the posterior surface of scapula, there is a process called spine is present. So above the spine, supraspinatus muscles are present, and below the spine, infraspinatus muscles are present. Then long thoracic nerve, which arises from C5 to C7. These nerves supply serratus anterior muscles. The serratus anterior muscles are present along the ribs, and these muscles are involved in the overhead abduction. Then the lateral cord gives 3 branches. The lateral root of median nerve, it supplies the front forearm muscles. Then musculocutaneous nerve, it supplies the forearm. Then musculocutaneous nerve, it supplies the muscles to the front arm, which includes coracobrachialis muscles, bicep brachii muscles, and brachialis muscles. And the third branch is lateral pectoral nerve, which supplies pec major and pec minor. The pec major is the major muscle of anterior thoracic cavity, and the pec minor is a small muscle. Next, the 5 branches arise from the medial cord. These one is medial nerve of median nerve. Okay, this nerve supplies front forearm muscles, the lateral root of median nerve, and this is the medial root of median nerve. These both roots combine to form the median nerve, or median nerve is the chief nerve of the forearm, which supplies the muscles to the which supplies the forearm muscles. The second one is ulnar nerve, which supplies the front forearm plus 15 intrinsic palm muscles. The palm muscles are the muscles of our anterior hand. These muscles are supplied by the ulnar nerve. Then medial pectoral nerve. These medial pectoral nerves also supplies pec major and pec minor. Pec major and pec minor are also supplied by the lateral pectoral nerve. So lateral pectoral nerve also supplies pec major and pec minor, and then medial pectoral nerve also supplies pec major and pec minor. Then medial cutaneous nerve. These carry the sensory impulses from medial side of arm and the medial side of forearm. These are two nerves: medial cutaneous nerve of arm and medial cutaneous nerve of forearm. Then posterior cord divides into 5 branches, which are subscapular nerve, upper subscapular nerve, and lower subscapular nerve. These supply to subscapularis muscles. These are the muscles which are present on the anterior surface of scapula. Second is thoracodorsal nerve. This is the nerve supplied to the latissimus dorsi. Latissimus dorsi is the major muscle of our back, and the teres minor is a small muscle which is also supplied by thoracodorsal nerve. Then axillary nerve. This supplies the deltoid muscles. Deltoid muscle is the muscle of our upper arm, and there are 3 fibers: anterior deltoid, medial deltoid, and posterior deltoids, which are involved in flexion, extension, and abduction of our arm. So these muscles are supplied by axillary nerve and teres minor muscle. Then radial nerve. The radial nerve supplies the nerve impulses to triceps brachii, which is involved in the shoulder extension, and then 12 muscles of back forearm. Now understand the blood supply of brachial plexus. Brachial plexus are the nerves and the blood supply. The 4 major arteries supply the blood to these nerves. One is the vertebral artery. Second one is suprascapular artery. Number 3 is transverse cervical artery, and number 4 is thyrocervical trunk with its branches. So these are the 4 major arteries which supply blood to brachial plexus. Thank you so much. I hope that this video is helpful for you. So must like, share, subscribe. See you in the next video. Allah Hafiz.